Assalamu alaikum sisters, hope you are well. I'm sorry for the delay in doing this video about my studies in Egypt, why I chose Egypt and how I came about studying here. You can actually get really good money, yeah, for your English pounds, yeah, British pounds, whatever, yeah. So for £1 you get 22 Egyptian pounds, yeah. So I think it's 100 Egyptian pounds works out £5, yeah, in English pounds. Because it's quite common in the sense where we know people that have actually studied here, etc. It's right next to Cairo airport, it's right next to old Cairo, new Cairo, so to be honest, I think that just would have worked better for us. So what we would have done initially, if we didn't actually know anybody here, is obviously book a hotel for 1 or 2 weeks, have a look around. There's lots of adverts and agencies. Sometimes you can come across WhatsApp groups that have you know, Egypt contacts, etc., and then you can go and view your flats and apartments. In our case, alhamdulillah, we're very lucky. There's a sister and some brothers that we know that actually live here, and you know, alhamdulillah, they've sorted out the place for us. In terms of costs, it can work out from £70 to £100 a week, yeah. So some might say it's cheap, some might say it's quite expensive. Yeah. So for Nasser City, that's actually quite normal, right? So you get unfurnished and furnished. And when we say unfurnished, guys, I mean literally unfurnished to the fact that there is nothing in the kitchen, not even a cabinet, there is no aircon, there is no bed. And then you get some that are furnished completely, alhamdulillah, that, you know, cutlery to plates, to washing machine, fridge, cooker, etc. Obviously, I would recommend, if you want to study here, live easily as possible, the more you get in your flat and apartment is better for you, because then you're not having to rush around and find things and buy things, because yes, you're gonna have to buy from scratch. So the bills are quite cool. So what happens is, in your apartment you have a caretaker, the bawab, right? So he would actually come and send you a little slip, like a little pay slip sort of thing, that will come and you pay your electricity bill, gas bill, etc. It works out something like Wi-Fi, you do have to get it set up in your house, get it connected. That can take from 3 to 7 months. But if you get an apartment that already has Wi-Fi, it's even better. That's obviously if you're going to need internet, inshallah, for your studies and obviously being in touch with your family, etc., because we all know WhatsApp is really good in terms of FaceTime and stuff, so it really does help. Wi-Fi, how it works, you literally just have to go outside to a kiosk and you give your little pin and stuff, and then you just top it up for the month. So that's really, really good. Another thing a sister was asking me was in terms of Egyptian SIM card, mobile and stuff like that. Yes, you can buy a SIM card. It works out something like £16, I think it was, that came out of my account. That includes obviously internet. It's quite good, it lasts quite long, depends what gig you get it on. So you get like different price plans, just like UK, guys. But if you got Wi-Fi at home and you just need the internet for outside, Uber, Google Maps, that kind of thing, then you probably just don't need to pay that much. Got any family and friends in Egypt, get in touch with them, inshallah, ask them recommendations of places to stay, etc. I wouldn't say go by pictures. You should go and have a look at the place, be comfortable with it, be comfortable that, you know, I don't know what it is, maybe it's just a thing that we kind of used to, is making sure everything's sealed and closed properly. You know, the balcony is not cracked, and you know, if you've got kids as well, you want to think about some health and safety as well in terms of them playing around and stuff like that. So you want to make sure the electrics and the wiring of the place is fine, it's clean, you know, and there's no bugs, you know, that kind of stuff. All that stuff you might want to just check when you go to visit a place. But also remember, it's qadr Allah as well. You could find a perfect looking brand new place, spanking new, and then there could be some issue with, I don't know, the drainage or you know, the noise outside. These tests that you get on this path, inshallah, there's reward in it. So you do have to have that mindset as well, that look, I'm coming to study, I'm coming to live for a little bit, not everything's going to be perfect, some things could go wrong, because you're not exactly going to live in Sharm el Sheikh, yeah, or some other fancy place in Egypt. If you're going to choose a town where you're living with the locals, then you expect some local issues as well as, you know, good times, happy times, etc. So that's just the way it rolls around here. So you just got to really be, you can't be spoiled in that sense, and you can't keep comparing it to home, wherever home is, right? Okay, so that's all the house stuff done. So food shopping, guys, it's really, really easy. Like we have, I showed you that place, Mahallawi, down the road. It's literally like a big Tesco's. You have everything there, right? And then you have other sort of super stores. They call them hyper stores, big stores. You just got to get to know your local area. Google it, right? You know, shopping area, whatever, food stores and stuff like that. It just comes up, right? Also, you can order online, guys. Here, a lot of things work online. I think it's because mainly people stay in big flats, tall flats, high rises and stuff. Carrying that up in the lift and up in your building, you can just order it online. They come and give it. You can choose your delivery time. You can do it within the same day. And it's just a minor little 10 Egyptian pounds or 15 Egyptian pounds just to get it delivered. But it's actually quite good for all your big stuff, so it works out. That's probably something that you want to get first, is all the bottles and boxes of water. Studies, why did I choose personal one-to-one studies? So my husband's students, inshallah, and we are studying together because we could have studied separately, right? Because there's loads of female ustadas, mashallah, who are here. They're learning in the Quran, obviously the Arabic language, etc. Is between, I would say, you can get some cheapest to 50 Egyptian pounds per session per hour, to 70 to 100. It really depends on what they can offer you, so you have to work out what works for you, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we're choosing between 3 and 4 times a week, yeah, so an hour and a half session. It works out for us money wise and time. And like I said, some people, mashallah, can be switched on for 2-3 hours a day. They can be in an institution for the whole day. It just depends what works for you. What works for us was, alhamdulillah, we found an ustad who teaches us both at the same time. Okay, so we're starting from obviously basic Arabic level to, inshallah, working towards the fact that we can speak, understand, write. Obviously, we're only here for 3 months, yeah? A good time to really speak fluently is between 6 to 8 months to a year, okay? Depending, honestly, guys, depending on your level of learning. We know some brothers and sisters that have been here for 6 to 7 months and they've come out speaking fluent Fusha. They know the Egyptian colloquial, and then there's some that have lived here a year that can't actually do a full-on sentence. So like I said, it's all down to you. And I also think as well, how much you communicate with the ummah outside, how you speak to people and stuff like that. It just really depends on yourself. So you've got to work out a plan. You've got to have a plan before the ustad comes and gives you a plan, right? Which is, how long are you here for? How much are you willing to spend, right? And what do you want to take away? What do you want to go away with? So then you have a focus. So anytime you feel demotivated or it's getting really, really hard, you just remind yourself, actually, look, this is why I'm here. This is what I'm going to work towards, inshallah. And you have a plan so that, inshallah, when you find a teacher, you can give the teacher a plan. Like we said to ours, we are here for this many weeks, this many times. We can come and see this many times. So alhamdulillah, he had a plan, and it's a bit more intense than what I was used to back in UK for any other studies that I've done. But alhamdulillah, it's worth it because we are here. I'm not working, I'm not doing anything else, right? It's just focusing specifically on the study sides. And to be fair, guys, there's just so much blessing. I don't know what it is, but there's so much barakah in this time in Egypt. I don't know what it is in UK. You just feel like time flies. You do all of your house chores, outside chores, and do all your prayers, and you're just about breathing, and then it's night time, then you gotta go to sleep. I just feel like here, alhamdulillah, you can have 1 or 2 naps during the day. You can have your outside, do shopping outside, cook, clean, wash your clothes and do your studies, recite, pray, go to the masjid, spend some time. And there's still a lot of time, because here people work around like the salah time. Do you see what I mean? Like Fridays are off, so you're not rushing around for Jummah because you got a day off, right? It starts from Thursday night, right? So Jummah, you wake up, you have your shower and whatever, and you go outside, you pray your Jummah, and then after that people are free, yeah? And then so you have a lot of time to study. And then Saturday's obviously more of a weekend, but then Sunday things start kicking up again. It just feels like there's more time here, but like I said, it's all in your mind as well, how much you want to give to your studies or whatever you're here for. So so we chose one-to-one because it is a personal level. Yes, the institutions are good in the sense where it might be cheaper than your personal one-to-one study, of course, and you're going to spend more hours outside. You're going to meet more different brothers and sisters in terms of students and speaking to them and stuff like that. Yes, that's definitely a pro, but we chose to do more of the one-to-one personal studies because I find the way I learn, especially when it comes to language, is to be put into the deep end and be forced to speak the language like I actually picked up, because my mother-in-law is she's Kashmiri, so she speaks Mirpuri. It's totally different to Urdu, which I know Urdu. I've got an idea of Gujarati. Obviously I'm Bengali. Mirpuri is totally different. It's like a remix of Punjabi to like the Kashmir mountain language. Is very, very different. But alhamdulillah, because I lived with her and there's no other way of communicating with my mother-in-law apart from some remixing Urdu and putting some English words in there, I told her, just speak your language, I'll learn it. And alhamdulillah, within 3 months from just constant conversations, you pick it up. So people learn differently, do you know what I mean? So I thought, for us, obviously Egypt, because you're forced to speak the language, when you get into the tuk-tuk, you're going to speak Arabic. Otherwise you'll get bumped. You got to speak Arabic to know where you're going and how much it costs. When you're speaking to even the ustad, he forces and makes us speak Arabic. And then when you're speaking to people, when you're communicating, when you're going to the shops buying something, when all these other ways, you're forced to speak Arabic, and it's better for you as well. Because our brother has been living here for a few years, he's been studying with this ustad, so obviously it was a good recommendation. May Allah reward him. and there's a few of them that actually study with him. So alhamdulillah, we found him quite easily. And our ustad he's a linguist, right? So he's a professor in Arabic, and he's an author. He writes books. He has his own like set of books, literally, mashallah. So we've got a really, really good one. So he's got a very good idea of what the basic level is to the middle. Even in his testing, like I was saying in one of my other videos, I found like it was a lesson in itself. So alhamdulillah, we've been given this handwriting teacher book. It's really, really good. Yes, it's very, very basic, but to be honest, you know, it's when you my Arabic writing is really not nice. In fact, my English writing is not even very nice. But you have to, when you're obviously studying, you want to get it right, okay? Because otherwise it can change the word, it can change the meaning, etc. So alhamdulillah, this is something really, really simple. Like, let me just show you. So the letters, yeah? You can see there. My Sod and Sin and Sheen and even Noon, all of that, it looks easy on the books, guys. Ain, Ghain, Ta. It looks really simple, but when I write it, it is terrible. It's worse than kids writing. But this, alhamdulillah, has actually it helps us in terms of how many lines and where to curve and etc. So when you're writing a word or a sentence, you can actually see the letters. And Ustad even said as well, like, you know, the printed stuff, they're not always good. Your handwriting is always going to be better because you're obviously doing it yourself rather than the computer writing. So handwriting is really, really important. Some sisters have asked me about this book. I'm not really sure if they sell it online, offline, or if Ustad actually has a bookshop or not. But inshallah, for the ones that have asked, I can ask him, but I'm not sure if he sells it and stuff. But as his students, we were given this as part of our package, and honestly, it's really, really good. I'm sure you can find that stuff on Google, guys, YouTube as well, of how to write each letter, and it takes a lot of patience. I rushed thinking, yeah, I know how to write the letters, but actually no. He took us back. In fact, mashallah, his young son, he's only a little teen, mashallah, he's like teaching us on the side of how to literally write alif. So alif has to be straight, no bent that way or that way. No, alif has to be straight, ba has to be in a particular way. He's very good, mashallah, and dal is like the half of ba, and he has to be very specific. So mashallah, because I think he's a perfectionist young lad, his writing is beautiful, and it does help, you know. So writing is very important. It takes a lot of patience, guys. Don't rush into it. I don't know what it is, maybe because we just feel like we need to know Arabic, we need to know for the sake of Quran and all this stuff. Sometimes the mindset could be very rushed, but no, it takes time, you know. People take years to understand a language and write it down, so don't worry, you know. As long as you're starting on it, as long as you're working hard, inshallah, stick to it, be patient. Because my point is, you know, I would have thought like maybe I'm going to be disappointed if I go away after 3 months and I don't know how to have a conversation, or I don't know how to write nicely. That's not the point. The point is I have spent my time, effort, money in a sense, and all this stuff to do this, obviously for the sake of Allah. Because why are we learning Arabic? We're learning Arabic because we want to connect with the Quran, we want to connect with the understanding of Islam, understand the fiqh, the jurisprudence, and obviously inshallah teach the ummah and take it upon ourselves when we are reciting, reading and studying, and inshallah for further studies, right? So it's for the sake of Allah. There's no other reason why you know, you would study Arabic, really, yeah, for a Muslim anyway, right? So you have to understand whatever you take away, yeah, the reward is there. If your reward and intention is clear and pure, inshallah, then your reward is there. Now, it doesn't mean after 3 months you just give up. Point where I just feel like, okay, I just don't get this, it's hard. But actually, I realized it takes a lot of time, patience, consistency. You have to be very persistent to yourself. And like the Ustad always says, sabr. So, you know, if needs be, start the page again, no problem. And keep your mistakes. Don't just rub it away. There's no such thing as this perfect way of studying. I keep all my mistakes. So inshallah, when I go back to it and think, wow, you know, I struggled with that, and now that's just so easy. So really, I'm talking about mindset here. You got to have a mindset of, I'm going to do this inshallah for the sake of Allah, and obviously the results in Allah's hand, but you have to do your bit, okay? And also we do plan to have another Quran teacher inshallah to brush up our tajweed and really focus on the Quran recitation side of it as well. So like I said, guys, you got to find what works for you. If you are coming specifically for Quran, then focus on the Quran. Don't take on 100 things. If you're going to do language, then stick to the language. Don't do 100 things. If you're going to do both, stick to those. Don't do 101 things. There's other people saying, I'm going to look for work, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I would say, stay where you are, save up, have a good amount, work out how much you will need. So for example, we're here for 3 months. We worked out roughly, say 3 grand, yeah? And it's probably going to be a lot less than that. It might even be more. Qadr Allah, something might come up, we might need to pay a bit more for whatever reason, yeah? But have a amount in your head, work hard, save up, because you don't want to come here and struggle for money you want to obviously spend it accordingly to your studies and stuff like that. Notebooks, pens and stuff like that, if you got it with you, bring it on, so you don't have to waste time looking for these things. Okay, yeah, so we spoke about living, gas, electricity, keep us in your du'as, and I make du'a for those that strive to learn wherever you are in the world, even if in your home. It's all in the mind, guys. It's all in the mind. If you want to do something for the sake of Allah, make lots of du'a, make a way, find good teachers, find resources. There are loads of resources online as well. So even with us, you know, we can use the books and stuff that Ustad has given, but there's loads of resources online. So we listen to Egyptian colloquial words as well as the Fusha words. Why? To get familiarized with the words. And I know people that have lived in the UK that have never traveled and they speak amazing Arabic. So please do not think I have to get away to do this. No, we've just found this opportunity to do this right now. So alhamdulillah, grab this opportunity. In fact, I wanted to do this since me and him got married, and that's 6 years ago. So everything takes time. You know, everyone has a time and a place for things. It doesn't mean you have to study abroad, but if you study abroad, then have a good budget. Yeah, be realistic with yourself, and find a good teacher, find a good place to stay. Lots of good recommendations. Look for reviews and views. There's reviews there for a reason, guys. Yeah, and if you decide, inshallah, that's the time, do istihara, put your trust in Allah, and do your best, inshallah. Okay, jazakallah for watching. Inshallah, I'll speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.